Welcome, lovely soul friend. Oh, the astral energies are intense right now. At least that's what I'm feeling. Um, I was feeling like doing a little bit of space, doing a little bit of feminine space. You know, the more we allow ourselves to, our feminine energy to love our masculine energy, the more our masculine energy um, is capable of taking action, right? And that's something that I heard from, not entirely in this way, but something similar that I heard in the mm, uh, in one of the readings today that I listened. But it kind of gave me, it gave me a deeper insight into what I've been telling. That you have to spend more time, more action with your action in your feminine energy, so that your masculine energy feels more loved and therefore is capable of taking actions from a clearer place, in a place of more alignment and more harmony. But in any way, well, if you've been feeling like you're, you know, that it's full stop, your path has like now somebody has, pulled the brakes on whatever you've been doing. I want you to know that everything's going to be all right. And this is a recalibration for your path. This is a real recalibration, and also a moment of bringing you closer to your divine self. Yeah, in general, to your path, to your divine self. It's kind of like, it always seems like indirect way of doing it, but it actually like, well, it makes sense, but it actually works this way. It's how the divine often, what the divine does, our higher self, what it does to bring us more into the alignment with what we actually want, with what our higher self desires. So I feel like that's what's happening now. I'll give you a little bit of cards in this space as well to kind of maybe gently share what direction is the spirit now suggesting you to take, or in general, just like what's the suggestion now from the spirit to you in this moment. Because I feel like there isn't much, for people in this phase, there isn't much of like, you can kind of like force directions for each individual. It's more of like a moment of everybody needs to rest with having the faith that whatever you are hoping for is soon coming through, or it's going to work out, or the readjustments that are being made. And of course, like, I'm sharing these videos, and I know that the message is cyclically being repeated, and it's kind of these moments are repeated. I feel like there's like a whole large cycle going on, at least for me and for those resonating me, for my lovely soul friends, which are, that this whole year, I think there's like larger shifts happening at the end of the year. So these kind of smaller recalibration moments are going to happen from time to time, from month to month. And that's great, that's fine, because every time that you look back on those recalibrations, like, like you look back on the previous month, on the previous recalibration, we have come closer. We have, made a few steps closer to our true divine self, to our true divine spirit, and to who we truly are. And it is definitely not a moment to throw your tools in the bushes and give up. There's a saying in my in my country, yeah, there's a saying that, you know, don't throw your gun into bushes or something like that. So I said, don't throw your tools into bushes just yet. Don't give up. Bang. We're having temperance. What else? Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. We're having so 3 cards. We have Temperance, we have 5 of Pentacles, and we have the Hangman. So I feel like the way I would translate this message, the way I feel it right now, is that there is both you are leaving, and me too. We are leaving. So we are leaving a idea or situation which is kind of simultaneously like changing perspective, and an idea which is you know, which doesn't bring any fruits to you. So it's like an unproductive, let's say it's not unproductive, but like you thought you would follow this idea, and now the idea is kind of being readjusted. Yeah, because it's the Temperance card. It's not fully like, I feel there's this sort of like, you know, like a process of, I said recalibration, but it's like dilution. In chemistry you have like, you're pouring it from cup of cup, and basically the liquid becomes more purified, and therefore it's like leaving behind leaving behind kind of the poorer substance, the residue, and at the same time it's the change in perspective, which is here represented by the Hangman. So yeah, but you're kind of hanging in there, right, as well. We're hanging in there. The shift is happening. Our energy is kind of being put on hold for that feminine process of sitting through, you know, like sitting in a liminal space for the shift allowing to happen. We're sitting, and it's just happening. We just have to trust it. So the best thing that we can do is really hold space for, just like me holding space for you here, you can hold space for yourself. The only direction in which you should go is really what your heart speaks, what your heart, the cart of your heart is calling you. Right? So that's the direction. In order for you to hear the direction clearly once more, in a more pristine way, in a more precise and calibrated way, you have to hang in there for a bit and have that feminine space of loving yourself, of returning to yourself in a prayer, returning to the universe. If you're, you know, I see myself like sitting on my favorite bench, watching the stars and asking the same questions again. What is calling? What is my heart? What is my heart calling for? In terms of like, in terms of like, not just like, because I've been asking the same question. Sorry for kind of having, yeah, sorry for having these brain farts. But like, so basically, what's happening is, you've already have embarked on that direction. It's just that time and time again, you have to tap into it again, ask again, clarify once again, and then you receive kind of the actions of what actions you need to take in order to move forward with that direction, to move forward with what you are doing, with what you are creating, and so forth, and so on. Yeah, and yeah. It also feels like introduction of more, I felt today, as it's like a Leo season of more playful energy, and you know, like how divine is pretty much playful. So in this case, it's like if you were following your desired direction, let's say now you're listening to your heart and you're following this direction, but the Leo season is kind of like follow this direction in the most liberating way that you can, meaning in the less, like, without having too much control over it, without trying to too much tie it into a system of outcomes, of, like, you know, of creating too much barriers and like structuring, but in a more, yeah, you know, in a liberating way, in a way that is flowing, in a way that is not correcting, in a way that is not overly preparing and trying to, you know, trying to just yeah, just trying to create these boundaries which would suppress certain joys. I feel like that's something that will be more relevant as the Virgo season starts. So at the end of the August, at the end of the month, and at the beginning of September. But right now it's kind of like you know, throwing paint at the wall. Be like, let's paint. Let's just let's just go. Let's throw paint at the wall and see what happens. Just throw paint at the wall and see what happens. It's kind of the energy right now. I myself I have a really hard time with throwing paint and seeing what happens. I don't know. Yeah, but I do believe that whatever happens is going to be successful, because it's like, you know, throw paint on the wall and then see the structure, then start building the structure. What do I want to say? Well, yeah, it's just, you know, you're gonna win. You're gonna throw the paint at the wall in whatever that means for you. Throwing the paint, just going for something, right? Going for something. What might you be going for? Something in your project. Maybe it's a new project, maybe it's a project you have kind of initiated but haven't seen a lot of like self-fulfilling movement. Not talking about like movement that is fruitful in the outside realm. Doesn't matter how much it has produced outside of you, but how much it has produced inside of you. So it feels like there's like a new idea which hasn't produced that level of satisfaction inside of you just yet. And the simple guidance would be to throw paint at the wall and believe that it will. Believe that it will bring fulfillment. Yeah. All right. Oh. Ooh. Right, my lovely soul friend. This was a much needed time for needing more space. I'll see you all later. And maybe the next week or at the end of this week there will be my the video that I've promised about the portals and the shamanic work. Let's see what happens there. I'll share, yeah, I'll share some tools. I'll share like a template to work with as well. There will be things to interact with, and there will be interesting things to do. Okay, bye bye for now.